Ludi and Historia is Victoria free mobile game. Let's look into that.
The combat mechanics for Vicky 3 are absolute
It's very
dog shit.
quiet.
And I know the
Look at
idea behind this is that, oh, you know, Vicky 3 is going to be a game all about economics and politics. Yeah, that's awesome. We love that. That's the best part about Vicky 3. But the reality is, we also want warfare. We don't want just a dice roll. Right now, it's not a dice roll for every battle. It's a dice roll for the entire war. It's literally the country with the biggest army wins. Because
First of all, how does he know that? Is he like in the beta, or how does he know this stuff? From the Dev Diaries?
You have a screen that says, oh, this is your front, and this is your army, and this is your dice roll, and you lost or you won based on your population. That's really not a good model, in my opinion. I don't know why they went with that. Like, everybody complaining about dice rolls, and they, instead of taking out
Unfortunately, I don't know
rolls,
shit about Victoria Free. I'm never checking these Dev Diaries.
Alright, so this is what we have right now when it comes to Vicky 3. We have 36 Dev Diaries, where the first few ones you can basically just ignore. It's essentially the same thing that you have in Vicky 2, and they're trying to tell you what's gonna happen. It's more of oh, hey, Vicky 3 is coming out, etc. The most important ones obviously are the latest ones, with an emphasis on fronts and generals, concept of war, diplomatic plays, relations and infamy, rank and
I feel like I should start getting involved into Victoria Free. When it comes out, I'm not gonna know anything, which isn't that bad.
Dev Diaries out of all of them,
but people that read Dev Diaries know much more about the game when it releases.
Is interesting. So let me show you guys what I was talking about earlier, right? Fronts and generals, so you understand what exactly they want to do with war in Vicky 3. Let's do both fronts and generals and concept of war, because in the concept of war, the Dev Diary before fronts and generals, they explain what exactly they want to do with combat in Vicky 3. Like I said before, guys, this is 100% taken from the Dev Diaries. Maybe it's going to be changed by the time the game comes out, so keep that in mind. Remember that this game is still in closed alpha, so we don't know what exactly it's going to look like eventually, right? What they say essentially is that whenever you declare a war, you're gonna have a screen that shows you your front lines. You can see this better here. It actually shows a picture of the front lines. This is the front lines here, and you essentially have...
Dude, I don't know much about the game. I don't want to talk shit, but I always pray that this is not the final UI, because that literally looks like a mobile game. It reminds me the first time I got into contact with a game that was a fully fledged PC game and just looked like a piece of shit mobile game was Empire of Sin. And it seems to happen more and more often lately that games are coming out that just look like shitty mobile games, man. The UIs are very lazy nowadays.
Against the nation you're
but yeah, let's
on that
hope they change that.
front line. You can have multiple front lines with multiple nations on multiple sides of your country. As you can see here, active battles, and you got 8 regiments against 5 regiments. But the 8 against 5 regiments is basically how this is going to be determined. You can see here, this has strength of 10 to strength of 8. This is based on the general's pips, if I want to put it in EU4 terms, so you get an idea what that is. It's dice rolls. You don't even see the units fighting on the battle. Right now, you just see fire going around and stuff.
Yeah, that's... You still have to give the benefit of the doubt here to the developers, aka they're gonna fix that. There's gonna be an animation, right? But for now, that's obviously not very good.
Specific locations, I think, from what I read in the Dev Diaries, and that's pretty much it. You don't actually visually see it on the map. You just get some.
I could not believe that.
It is extremely freaking disappointing, man. I'll be honest. I don't want to see some numbers on a freaking screen. This is like pretty much a mobile game, essentially. Like, I want to see my units moving on the battleground. If you don't want me to control my units at the battleground, at least give me a lot more options here. Make it vary, because according to this, essentially the country with the highest amount of population is always going to win, because they're going to have more units, right? And as consequence, better dice rolls, essentially, if we put it into PDX terms. Looks like we'll see a mod for better battle. It's not going to be possible, because this is going to be the basic combat mechanic.
Is that true though? I would think that when the game comes out in 5,000 years,
just like mods cannot change the
that cannot be the case.
They can alter it, but they cannot change the mechanic itself.
Yeah, there's even a release date.
Yeah. It comes out like this.
Gotta stay calm on this.
Play it at the start when it's hype. Oh,
feels like
Vicky
risk.
3, everybody. Yeah, it's the meme. It's Vicky 3, amazing. Let's play it. And then after they play it for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, no one's gonna play it, just like they didn't play Imperator Rome. The reality is, guys, that nobody wants dice rolls anymore. People want to actually be able to influence how the wars go. And I understand
crystal
that
clear, and any depth not understanding that is a little
about
behind
politics,
in the
it's a game
times.
about managing your market.
Tommy, as an Asian with no knowledge on this topic, as a ginger, do you also have ginger pubic hair, or is it just head and facial hair?
You manage your market's economy, you do your diplomatics, so that when you go to war, you have fun in that war for a brief period of time. Let's face it, there's few wars in Vicky 2, but when you do go to war, you feel the impact when your population dies on the battlefield. You feel that in your economic screen. You feel that because your output is reduced. You really enjoy wars in Vicky 2, and you're not going to enjoy wars in Vicky 3, and that's why the game's going to die if it stays on this track. I really hope they fix this.
I mean, but without having read the single Dev Diary, I'm totally predicting that Victoria 3 is going to be ultra fucking empty at the beginning and needs 5 DLCs. Because that's what Paradox does nowadays.
They bring back either regular system that you have from Vicky 2 or EU4, or keep this system but give a lot more options and not just a couple of numbers on the screen. Would have been amazing if
We're
they
watching
actually
Ludi
did
and
a
Historia on
HOI4
YouTube. Check them
style
out.
Implementation of combat in Vicky 3. That would have made this game perfect. If it has the diplomatic option.
Dude, that UI looks like a game I played when I was a kid. Like Desperados 1 looked like this.
That EU4 has, the market
or a browser game. Browser games used to look like this. Look, watch this. I'm gonna do test live on stream. Cowboy browser game. Just randomly cowboy browser game. The West multiplayer cowboy online RPG. Can I see your? It's not that far away. It's not that far away, bro. Okay, whatever. Good. Thank you for the 10, mate. Appreciate it.
And the combat of HOI4, then this game would be the greatest game they will ever make. And if they don't make it, I'm sure another company is going to wake up at one point and realize that this market is basically open grounds. Right now, there's literally only Paradox making grand strategy.
I like the AI though. It's clean and easy to read. The game mechanics suck massively hairy cock though.
They're gonna suffer. They're gonna need to double up.
I'm not needing a flash game. Look, I gotta show kids something. A lot of kids in chat don't get it. Look, when I was young, there was games like this. This is what me and the boys played when we were younger. Okay.
Guys, this is Omer from
This is not a video game. This is a website. This is in your browser, and you go in, you make an account, and it was a great game. Then you choose a universe, which is a server, and then this is the game. This is the whole game. You just fucking click buttons and build buildings and raid other people, man. That's the whole game. It was amazing back then. It was so good, dude. I was once ranked 1 in Travian. It just cost me 50 euros pay to win, man. And my point is, and you younger kids might not understand, but the older ones, if you played these browser games as they were called back then, the AI from 2010 browser games, 12 years ago, looks like Paradox games look nowadays. Like this.
So you can see here, for example, this
I don't mean as this. I'm just making the observation.
Over here, which is the same like in Vicky 2.
I played Omerta, dude. I played Omerta. I played Travian.
Bureaucracy, I guess, and I guess this is prestige, and this is
legendary Rome player in Travian, rank 1.
Then you have literacy rate, you have, I'm assuming, consciousness, this is, and then your overall population and your income right now. That means how much you have in the bank, essentially. Then you go to your military screen. You have
the problem with these games are they're massively paid to win. They are massively paid to win. In the beginning, right, early 2000s, they weren't, but after a while, hey, if you give us 10 euros, we will give you more of that resource that everybody needs, and then it was like, okay, yeah, see you later. And that's how browser games died, because they just became so paid to win. Nobody's fucking doing it anymore, you know. Also, gaming got better in general, and people would just play real games.
Oh no, I'm assuming this is officers. That's officers, and then this is actually the generals, because it would have been weird to have 50 generals. And you can see the tabs. They're basically the same tabs that you have in EU4 with the macro builder. That's good. I like to see that they're actually adding this sort of macro builder.
Forge of Empires, I don't know that.
This makes a massive difference, and it's probably one of the best things that really improve the quality of life in EU4 as well as Imperator Rome. Imperator Rome has
I was banned in Travian because I had a side account. Yeah, people will just exploit left and right, man.
So you can see now we have the HQs. You have a few orders you can give to your units in the HQs. So you can see here you have 5 orders, but 5 orders in an interface is not enjoyable, man. It's actually not enjoyable. You can see the strength of each of the units here. You got 950 soldiers out of 1,000. I'm assuming this is 100 officers or something of the sorts. The HQ where this particular...
I never played Adventure Quest. I don't know what that is now. Did you have Y8 in Germany? Never heard of that.
Then you go click on that, and then it shows you this front over here that we saw earlier.
I played Bundeswehr Simulator. It was a browser game where you're a soldier in the German army. And it was a big meme. You just had to like get prostitutes and shit.
The reality is that
drink
this
beer.
game has been super hype, and I kind of feel like
Police? I don't know that stuff.
Of Blizzard's Diablo 3 or something like that. They had a Diablo that was on mobile, and it was a complete and utter shock. And I would not be super shocked if this was actually a mobile game. But no, I don't think it's going to be a mobile game. It's going to be a proper computer game. But maybe as an option, you can play it on mobile. You never know. Maybe you could play it on mobile as well. Maybe it's like a computer/mobile. Could be an option. Like, the interface definitely gives the vibe of it being playable on mobile, which is not such a bad thing, guys, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you can play this awesome game on your mobile phone,
yeah, like I also said, it's not a big diss that a game looks like a mobile game. It's not a big diss.
Work, you can play it whenever you're chilling in the bus or something. You know, it's not that bad. And the latest dev diary they have is the construction dev diary, and this essentially shows us how construction essentially works. So here you see somebody's building 4 logging camps.
Thank you, Poo Poo Man. Thank you for 5.
Output of timber, I assume, or lumber, or whatever it's called.
Wow, like, I'm very excited for Victoria 3 because you know me. I like to build up industry.
That is something new. You don't have this.
That sounds fun as fuck.
Obviously, this gives out a lot more options than Vicky 2, since, you know, it's a brand new game. It's good to see too. I like the map though. Like, you can see in the various pictures, the map looks really, really crisp. Like, I think this is gonna be the best map out of all PDX games overall. So essentially, this here 40.599 is your production output. It's obviously based off of certain aspects like construction sectors in various areas.
Okay.
Here, you can even see it said.
Like, the guy has 45.8 civs, and 45 out of 45 civs are at the moment working. That's kind of dead, right?
It's probably based on your population type and how many people you have of that particular type, like it is in Vicky 2. And with each trade good giving out specific...
The Amazon rainforest, for example, gives you 25% hardwood output, but you can't build infrastructure there, and construction efficiency is worse. Okay.
To that particular state, like in Vicky 2, essentially. So it's the same like Vicky
They might
2,
do this so they can launch it on console. You can't micro units with a controller easily.
I don't know, man. I think it will grow on you guys. I think it's gonna grow on you. Look, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Let's be fair. It does look good. Is there any other map we can see here that shows it better? Okay. Kind of looks a little bit like a mobile game. Oh god. Oh, dude. I like the way that they set up the Panama Canal. It looks really, really cool. So you can actually
looks
see
good,
on the
yeah.
map that,
looks good.
Panama Canal's got ships going through it.
Yeah, CK3 has just been released on consoles, I think, right?
If you see this, don't forget to subscribe, goddammit, and leave a like.
Yeah, boys, show some love to my boy Ludi.